Welcome to the deep dive. The information for this story comes from the internet and may not be accurate.
OMW One Stop's music, movies, and sport.
Okay, so today we are jumping right into, a truly wild and funky universe. We're
Yeah.
talking about the life, the legacy, the whole cosmic trip of Bootsy Collins.
Yeah, William Earl Collins.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one. We're pulling a lot from the book Bootzilla Rides Again, The Life, Funk, and Cosmic Legacy of Bootsy Collins.
Right. And our mission here really is to try and, get to the heart of what made Bootsy so Bootsy. Such a unique and a massively influential figure.
Definitely. Let's start at the beginning. Cincinnati, Ohio, born October 26, 1951.
And right away, music was everywhere for him, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. His mom was a gospel singer, so you have that foundation, that soulfulness. And then just the neighborhood itself apparently was buzzing with rhythm and blues.
You can sort of imagine how that gospel call and response might have, fed into his later stage thing, interacting with the band and the crowd.
Exactly. And he wasn't just soaking it up passively. The book mentions him tapping out beats, trying to make guitar sounds even before he had one. He was feeling it.
Yeah, drawn to the rhythm. And interestingly, already showing that flair for fashion even as a kid.
Right. That visual element was always there. And, crucially, his brother, Phelps Catfish Collins, was right there with him, musically.
That partnership with Catfish seems key. They formed the Pacemakers together in, 68?
Yeah, 1968. Cutting their teeth in the local scene, nightclubs, talent shows. That's where you really learn the ropes, right? How to work a crowd, how to lock in as a band.
And then, bam, 1970, this just incredible story. James Brown's entire band quits on him.
The whole band.
Yeah.
Just like that.
And Brown sees the Pacemakers, Bootsy and Catfish's band, and just hires them. On the spot.
It's wild. Bootsy was, what, 19 years old?
Yeah. Suddenly, he's not just in a band, he's in James Brown's band, the JBs. Thrown right into the deep end of intense touring, recording, innovating, really.
Talk about pressure. And you had this interesting dynamic, right? James Brown, known for being super strict, incredibly disciplined.
The ultimate band leader, demanding perfection.
Exactly. And then you have Bootsy already starting to develop this wilder, more flamboyant style. But that tension, somehow, it created magic.
It really did. That period, even though it wasn't super long, was so important. The tracks they laid down, Get Up, I feel like being a sex machine, Super Bad, Soul Power.
Foundational funk right there.
Yeah.
And Bootsy's bass isn't just holding it down, it's driving it, talking, adding all this character.
He was already pushing the bass into the foreground, injecting that syncopation, that pocket you mentioned earlier.
That deep groove, yeah. It
Yeah.
makes you have to move. But playing at that level with that intensity day in, day out.
Yeah, it took its toll. Burnout. So in 1971, he makes the decision to leave James Brown.
Which must have been huge. But it wasn't the end of the funk journey, not by a long shot.
No way, because then he hooks up with George Clinton.
Ah, yes. Enter the P-Funk Mothership, Parliament-Funkadelic.
Yeah.
A completely different kind of universe.
If James Brown was about tight discipline, Clinton's world was like psychedelic chaos in the best way possible. Total creative freedom.
And that environment was exactly what Bootsy needed at that point, wasn't it? Clinton basically let him off the leash.
Totally. Brown gave him the chops, the discipline maybe, but Clinton gave him the space to just explode creatively.
And explode he did. His bass became absolutely central to that P-Funk sound. You hear it all over those classic tracks.
Oh yeah. Mothership connection, that pulsating bass line, flashlight, using those synth effects on the bass, bop gun. It's just unmistakably Bootsy.
And this is where the persona really blossoms too, right? Bootzilla.
Bootzilla, the world's only rhinestone rock star doll. I love that. The star glasses, the crazy hats, the spacesuits.
The whole visual package is performance art meets funk.
It perfectly matched the P-Funk aesthetic. Those live shows must have been legendary. Afrofuturism, psychedelia, just pure, uncut funk energy.
With Bootzilla, right at the heart of it all, this cosmic ringmaster.
So he's got this incredible stage presence, this unique sound. It kind of makes sense that Clinton would see even more potential there.
Right. Clinton encouraged him to step out front, lead his own thing.
Which leads us to 1976 and Bootsy's rubber band.
Yeah. And they carved out their own unique space in the funk landscape.
You could hear the influences, definitely. That James Brown tightness was still in there somewhere.
The precision.
And obviously the P-Funk cosmic swirliness. But it was also just fun, playful. Bootsy's personality really shone through.
That debut album, Stretching Out in Bootsy's Rubber Band, really set the tone.
And that track, I'd Rather Be With You, Wow, it's so different.
Isn't it? That super slow, deep groove, almost underwater sounding with the effects. It showed his range, not just as a bassist, but as a vocalist, a producer.
And that spoken word bit in the middle. You blew my mind, so I blew my nose.
Uh-huh. Classic Bootsy. That mix of absurdity and, like, genuine emotion. It's so unexpected.
That's his genius, maybe? That unpredictability?
I think so. And the hits kept coming. The name is Bootsy, baby, in 77.
The Pinocchio Theory. Munchies for your love.
Yeah.
Blending romance, humor, funk. Only Bootsy could pull that off.
And then Bootsy, Player of the Year in 78. That really cemented his icon status. He was everywhere, even on cereal boxes and in toy ads.
Which was pretty groundbreaking back then, that level of branding for a musician, especially funk musician.
Totally. And let's not forget the band itself. The rubber band was stacked with talent.
Oh, yeah. Fred Wesley and Maceo Parker bringing that incredible horn power from the James Brown days.
And Bernie Worrell on keyboards, another P-Funk genius, adding those essential textures.
Their live shows apparently were just something else. Theatrical, danceable, really interactive.
Became the stuff of legend. So, thinking about this whole period, what's the takeaway? What was the funk philosophy for Bootsy?
It feels like it was way more than just music. It was like a mindset, a spiritual thing almost. Liberation, freedom from boring norms, finding joy.
Yeah, escaping the mundane. And the alter egos, Bootzilla, Casper the Funky Ghost, Player of the Year, they weren't just costumes. They were like vessels for this cosmic idea.
Avatars for funk rebellion.
Yeah. And that phrase, keep it on the one.
It's his signature, right? Comes from James Brown, the emphasis on that first beat, the downbeat.
Right, that solid foundation. But Bootsy expanded it, didn't he? It became more philosophical.
Yeah, like stay true to yourself, stay grounded in your own essential rhythm, your own one. Don't lose the core feeling.
Keep it real, keep it funky. Makes sense. But then came the 80s.
Yeah, the musical landscape shifted. Funk wasn't quite as dominant in the mainstream. Disco had its moment. Then hip-hop started emerging, new wave.
Now, Bootsy faced some challenges then, right?
Yeah.
Both personally and maybe commercially.
Seems like it. The book mentions struggles, sales may be dipping, but the key thing is he never stopped being funky. He didn't abandon his core.
No, he adapted. He kept collaborating. Look at who he worked with. Herbie Hancock, Africa Bambaataa.
Yeah.
Bridging gaps between genres.
Showing that funk could play with anything. And he did soundtracks, commercials, cartoons even, finding different ways to keep the funk alive.
That adaptability is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And then the 90s and 2000s saw this kind of resurgence for him.
Definitely. A whole new audience started discovering him. That D-Light track, Groove is in the Heart, from 1990.
Huge. That bass line is instantly recognizable. It put funk right back in the pop charts.
Totally reintroduced him to a younger generation. And he kept collaborating widely. Hip-hop producers, rock guys, electronic artists.
Showing the timelessness of those grooves. And he started Bootzilla Productions, mentoring younger artists too.
Right, becoming this elder statesman of funk. You started seeing him more in documentaries, interviews, award shows, always bringing that joy, that style.
Still rocking the star glasses. And speaking of stars, the space bass.
Iconic. That star-shaped bass is just, it's him. It's more than an instrument.
It really is. It's like a symbol of everything he represents. Freedom, creativity, funkiness, not being afraid to be different.
And his influence on bass players is undeniable. People like Les Claypool, Thundercat, they all point to Bootsy.
His lines get sampled constantly in hip-hop. Music schools actually study his grooves. He completely changed how people thought about the bass guitar and funk.
Took it from just keeping time to being this lead voice, this force of nature.
And he's still going. Well into his 60s, now 70s. That 2020 album, The Power of the One.
Yeah, that was great. Still had those heavy grooves, but maybe with a bit more of that spiritual reflection, too.
And he's embraced technology, hasn't he? Using social media to teach, share positive vibes.
The Bootsy Collins Foundation, too, supporting young musicians, giving back.
It's fantastic. And he still pops up on tracks with current artists. Bruno Mars, Anderson .Paak, that Silk Sonic cameo.
Right. After last night, he just slides in there sounding as cool as ever. It shows how relevant he still is.
So when you zoom out and look at the whole picture, Bootsy Collins is just monumental, more than a musician.
He really is, like you said, a cosmic presence, a cultural force, just a living embodiment of joy and rhythm.
His impact goes way beyond the bass playing. It's about artistry, performance, connecting to something bigger, that universal groove.
Yeah, and I think you're right. As long as people feel that need to dance, to move, to get down,
Bootsy's funk is going to be there. It's going to endure.
keep it on the one, baby.